Tina's Tiny Wonderful Wonderland, the best split screen game to come out since It Takes Two. Hell, this might be the best split screen game that come out in the next 5 years. Now, this game is a spin-off from the Borderlands franchise. Rated right off the bat, I give this game a 8.5 out of 10. Now, this game delivers almost exactly what it promises, and it has about a couple, performance issues that I'm pretty sure is going to get patched in no time. This game is basically just the Borderlands franchise mechanics and gameplay that's dropped into this fantasy thing with dragons, knights, castles, and magic. Now, the mechanics in this game is very similar to Borderlands 3, but they added this new melee system with the melee button. You click in the right analog stick while playing on consoles, and it's more animations for the melee instead of just the normal one stop that's in most first-person games. The melee system in this, it goes up to like 4 animations, 4 swings now. The melee weapons are part of the loot now. As you looting enemies and looting chests, you can pick up new melee weapons. It's pretty cool. It feels kind of like Dying Light 2, but it's not flushed out at all because since it's Borderlands, the best weapons in the game will always be the guns. But they also added a new magic system in the game, spells, magic, and skills. They took out grenades and replaced it with these 3 things. And I find that to be a great change. That alone almost makes the game a 9 out of 10. The only complaints I have is the 3D map. It's a headache to look at and it's not appealing at all. And also the menu you go through while looking through your inventory, your skills, it's all crunched up together, especially when you're playing in split screen. You can barely see what it is. You will have to zoom in and get as close to the TV as possible just to see it. Or hell, use some glasses or a magnifying glass. And that is not a boost to my experience. If anything, that subtracts from the fun that I'm having. It feels like it slows down the pace of the gameplay, and this is a really action-packed, heavy game when it's non-stop action, non-stop shooting. It's good cutscenes, I can admit that, and the story, it's alright. I can see the audience that they're trying to target, and I'm pretty sure that they hit the mark with that one. Now, in this game, the main character is Tina. She is basically the overhaul, the god, the omnipotent being in this Wonderland, since this is her tiny Wonderland. And us players, we're just characters in her Wonderland. Now, this is the first time I've ever seen character customization in a Borderlands game. The customization is pretty fleshed out. The details are pretty well made, and I can see the love that's going into this new customization. The character customization alone, it raises the bar for this game, Wonderlands, way much higher. As far as the combat, the enemies that you fight in this game, they start off kind of, then the theme of the enemy start increases, and the appeal of the enemy also increases as you go through the story. At the beginning, you're fighting such fodder enemies like crabs or these little tiny dudes that look like Smurfs, or some tiny trolls. Like, it is not fun shooting these things and throwing spells at them and using these cool skills. I highly prefer this character customization in this game, even though it's first person. I put this over choosing out of 6 characters, pre-rendered characters for us when we just changed a few color palettes of the character. That's so lame compared to the system that they placed in this new Borderlands game. The customization goes into very deep detail. The only thing that's missing is, I'll say, is in-depth face sculpture, when you can change the sliders and choose the sculpture of your face yourself. It's pre-rendered presets for that part, and that's the only thing that I find is not okay. Now, there are 6 classes that you can choose from, and also it's a secondary class option, and you get to choose another class from these 6 options, instead of it being 6 pre-rendered presets characters that you can pick from when you just use their default powers and change your color palette, but you stuck with how the character look. In this character customization, the last step is picking your class. It's a good variety of classes, and none of them are similar to each other. You got some that have summon pets when you can have a mushroom follow you everywhere, or this little bat thing that shoots for you, but it doesn't take damage. There's also like brute classes, berserker classes when it's melee based. You can do melee builds and go all melee, when guns is just a sideline to you. There's an archer class when you got this magical bow and arrow, and this soul snatching classes. My favorite personally is the spell casting class, when you just go all spells and your cooldowns are smaller compared to the other classes. Now, the secondary class, it can be changed at the end of the game. Once you finish the main campaign you can switch your secondary class. You won't have to start over a new run just to get the build that you feel like it was the best from the start. You can actually change it in the middle of the game. And I feel like that's a great feature. It increases the fun factor for this game. As far as the performance issues, they may differ on different consoles. I was playing this game on their release. I've been playing on Xbox Series S. So far, I've only been playing in split screen. I played a couple of minutes in the full screen to get the full grasp of the graphics and the art style in this game, and I find that pretty interesting. But the only performance issues that I found was like trying out new emotes or finding a secret path or a secret cut to a secret chest. The game crashes and sends you right back to your console's home menu. Now, I don't know how this works on other platforms. I only tested this on Xbox One and Xbox Series S, and it had the same problems on both consoles. I'm pretty sure it's going to get patched really soon.